Hello, welcome to today's class. I remain your very lovely tutor Frank, and today I'm going to be taking you a topic once more in mathematics: simultaneous linear equations. Simultaneous linear equations. Now, in our last class, if you were present, I said that an equation is a mathematical expression separated into two parts by an equal to. So we have the right hand side, we have the left hand side separated by an equal to. Now I also said that in an equation you have the variables, you have the coefficient, and you have the constant. The variables are simply the symbols that you are asked to look for. The coefficient is simply the number beside the symbol, and the constant are the values that does not what change. And lastly, I said the linear equation is an equation where the highest power of the unknown is 1. And today we are moving to simultaneous linear equation. Now, what do we mean by that? Simultaneous linear equations are two or more linear equations that have the same variables and are solved together. So there are times in mathematics where you are given two linear equations to solve at the same time. Now the two equations are having the same variables, which could be x and y as the case may be. So two linear equations with the same variables that you have to solve at the same time is what we refer to as simultaneous linear equations. Now look at this. Simultaneous linear equations can be simplified by three methods. So there are three methods we can apply to solve for simultaneous linear equation. The first is the substitution method, the second is the elimination method, and the third is the graphical method. Now for the purpose of this class, we'll be looking at the first one today, the substitution method. Now what do we mean substitution method? Now remember, I said in the simultaneous linear equations, you have two variables that you have to look for, and then you have to solve the two equations at the same time. Now what do we do here? First, from one of the equations, we solve for one of the variables. So we pick the first equation, we solve for a variable, say x, to get the value of x in that equation, and then we substitute that value of x in the first equation into the second. So when we substitute the value of x in the first into the second, we get the value of the second variable. So that is what we mean by substitution method. Now as you can see here, I said this is a mathematical technique that involves solving one equation from one variable and then substituting or replacing that variable with the value obtained in the second equation. Now to drive home the point, let's take an example. Example 1. Solve x plus 4y equals 10, 2x plus 3y equals 6. Now, how do we go about this? Pay attention. Now, first thing first, we are going to call them equations 1 and 2. So we have x plus 4y equals 10. We call this equation 1. And then 2x plus 3y equals 6. We call this equation 2. So like I said, from the first equation, we are going to solve for the value of one of the variables. Now let's see this. X plus 4y equals 10. Now I can solve for x here. What does it mean to solve for x? It means to make x stand alone, and then we move the other variable to the other side of the equation. So this x will stand, then this plus 4y, don't forget the plus sign is attached to the 4y. We cross over the equality sign to the other side. Now, as a rule in mathematics, when plus is crossing over the equality sign, it changes to minus. So plus 4y crossing over becomes minus 4y. So that means x equals 10 minus 4y. I call this equation 3. So I've gotten the value of x to be 10 minus 4y from equation 1. Now what's next? I will substitute this value of x that I've got it from equation 1 into equation 2. That means I will replace x for 10 minus 4y in equation 2. So instead of having 2x plus 3y equal to 6 in equation 2, I'm going to replace this x with 10 minus 4y. Okay? So I have 2. Now 2x simply means 2 times x. Now this is the value of x now. That means 2 times 10 minus 4y. I put it in brackets because I have two terms. Okay, so that the bracket can cover the two terms. Plus 3y equals 6. Now what's next? I will expand the bracket. What do we mean by expanding the bracket? I mean the term outside is going to multiply every term inside the bracket, and in the process the bracket is gone. So we have 2 multiplying 10, that's 20, minus 2 multiplying 4y, that's 8y, plus 3y equal to 6. Now, I'm going to factorize. Now, how do I factorize? Now, minus 8y plus 3y. Now, as a rule in mathematics, if you have two different signs, the rule is pick the sign of the bigger number and subtract. So I have 20 minus 8y. 8y is bigger than 3y, so I pick minus. Then 8y minus 3y, that gives me 5y. Again, pick the sign of the bigger term and then subtract. 8 minus 3, that's 5. So 20 minus 5y equals 6. So what do I do now? I collect like terms. What do we mean collect like terms? Y is an alphabet. Y is going to stay alone on the right, on the left hand side. Then this constant is going to cross over to the right hand side to meet the fellow constant 6. Such that I have just the variable on the left and I have the constant on the right. So that means minus 5y equal to 6. Again, when plus 20 is crossing, plus changes to minus. So 6 minus 20. So minus 5y, 6 minus 20 gives minus 14. So I have minus 5y equals minus 14. Minus 5y equals minus 14. So minus 5y equals minus 14. Now, I'm looking for the variable y. Remember, I said to get the variable, you have to divide both sides by the coefficient of the variable. There's a number beside the variable. What's the number? Minus 5. So that minus 5 will have to be removed. And to remove minus 5, we'll divide both sides by that value, minus 5. Such that this takes care of this, minus 5 takes care of minus 5, we have just y left. So y equal to minus 14 over minus 5. Minus takes care of minus, so we have 14 over 5. So the value of y is 14 over 5. Now, how do we get the value of x? Substitute this value into equation 3 such that x equal to 10 minus 4y. Instead of y, now I have 14 over 5. That's my value for y. So x equals 10 minus 4 times 14 gives 56 over 5. Now, I can look for the LCM. What's the LCM of 1 and 5? The LCM of 1 and 5 is 5. So 1 into 5, 5. 5 times 10, 50. Minus 5 into 5, 1. 1 times 56, 56. So 50 minus 56, that gives me minus 6 over 5. So I have my value for x and I have my value for y. So the value of y is 14 over 5. The value of x is minus 6 over 5. Now this brings us to the end of today's class. I believe you have learned something on simultaneous linear equation. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. See you again in our next class. God bless you. Bye.